evening, good evening, good evening. It's been a while. Welcome to everyone on Love 101 FM, Facebook, and YouTube Live. My name is Audra Williams, and this is Family Time. Family time is about your issues and your relationships. It's about your at home family, your community family, and your global family. Family Time is produced by Family Life Ministries, and our aim is to enable healthy families, which will lead to, of course, a healthy nation. So stay with us and please connect with us via all our platforms. Friend us on Facebook at FLM Family Life Ministries. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Family Life Ministries FLMJA, and on Instagram. Keep up with what's happening at Simply FLMJA. While Family Time is a family program, we'd like to caution that it may, on the odd occasion, touch on what some may consider mature subject matters. Your discretion is advised, or your discretion, sorry, is advised. I want you to consider that globally, over 1.3 billion people live with high blood pressure. Yes, 1.3 billion, not million, billion people. And more than two-thirds of them are in low and middle income countries like Jamaica. Here in the Caribbean, hypertension is a growing concern, often going undiagnosed until it's too late. In fact, studies show that in some Caribbean nations, over 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. That simply means you know somebody that has high blood pressure. And many, they don't even know it. That's a significant issue, so stay tuned as we look at the topic high blood pressure, the silent killer. While we do that, we want to hear from you as always. Here is your feedback question. How do you manage your blood pressure? Send your answers via WhatsApp text and WhatsApp voice notes to 876-997-3125. Try to keep those voice notes no longer than 30 seconds. And you can also call our studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. You can even watch us and comment live on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube. Hypertension, this silent threat, is a major contributor to strokes, heart attacks, and kidney disease. But there is good news. With early detection, simple dietary changes, and consistent care, it can be managed and even prevented. We'll be right back with our special guests, Dr. Forgive Avorbedor and Chevelle Morgan, when we'll explore this very interesting issue.
On the next episode of the Mailbox, we'll be focusing on the topic Man on a Mission. A man's mission is often driven by his purpose, values, and passion. Having a clear mission statement can help him stay focused and motivated on his journey. You are invited to join the conversation with our esteemed guest, Mr. Noel Keith Phillips, aka Uncle Keith, working with open air campaigners for 41 years. At 87 years old, he will be sharing about how he has stayed focused on his mission and disciplined himself to take consistent actions for Christ. That's Wednesday, July 16 at 5:30 p.m. only on the family station, Love 101, the Mailbox, Monday.
Welcome back to Family Time on Love 101. And welcome to you, Alvarine Elliston. She's listening in or watching on Facebook. We'd also like to welcome our very, very special guest today. We have Dr. Forgive Avorbedor, and she's an assistant professor in the School of Nursing at the University of North Carolina. And we have Chevelle Morgan, who is a registered nurse and nutrition practitioner. How are you, ladies?
Doing good and happy to be here.
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. Dr. Avorbedor, I'm asking you, can I call you Dr. Forgive or Dr. Avo? Is that okay? Which one?
Forgive is fine.
Forgive. Okay, fine. And I actually like it. It just reminds me to forgive, just in case I haven't. But I am glad that you ladies are doing well, and we are here to talk about a very important topic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember your feedback question. How do you manage your blood pressure? WhatsApp text and voice notes to 876-997-3125. Try to keep those voice notes to no longer than 30 seconds. And you can also call our studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. Watch us and comment live on Love 101 FM Facebook, YouTube. So many people hear high blood pressure and think it's not a big deal, or that they know if something was wrong. But is this true? Ladies, is that true? We're here to find out because we don't want anyone to wait until it's too late. The first question that I have, what exactly is high blood pressure? And I'm throwing that out to Dr. Forgive.
I'm happy to take that one. So high blood pressure is, is the force that the blood pressure need. The blood needs to travel through the bigger vessels. So that force,
Mhm.
can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, okay. So the force typically, we need about less than 120 over 80 for the force for the blood to go through the vessels. But sometimes the force needs for blood to travel through the vessels are higher, uh, higher than 120 over 80.
Okay.
Then we call it high blood pressure
So does
because,
it need to go ahead?
yeah, because without that higher blood pressure, um, without a higher pressure, the blood cannot go through the vessels. So the high pressure is needed for the blood to go through the vessels.
Okay. Now, does it have to consistently be over 120 over 80, or is it just a one instance? So, you go to the doctor today and it's a bit high, or it's over 120 over 80, and then you go back maybe tomorrow and it's normal. So, does it have to be consistently over 120 80?
Yes, even though sometimes um, uh, once a while uh, our blood pressure may be higher,
Okay.
but if it is consistently over 120 over 80, then uh, then the pressure is high.
Okay. All right. So, it has to be consistent. And why is it considered a silent threat?
So often we move around without knowing that our pressure is high. Um, because what is happening within the bigger blood vessels. So we cannot feel it. So most people move around not knowing that their blood pressure is high. It's a silent killer because even if you don't know, it's so damaging organs. By the time you feel it, it has affected um, organs like maybe your kidneys, your eyes, um, brain. So it takes time for us to feel that our pressure is high. And when the symptoms, the time we feel it, it has damaged major organs.
Wow. It does sound very, it sounds almost like sin. And then
Yeah. I just wanted to add also as a silent killer, because you don't feel it or anything, it can be instantaneous because it's the pressure is constantly high.
yes,
You can have a stroke just instant like that. You can have a heart attack just like that, and you didn't even know, you didn't even feel it because I've seen in the hospital that persons come in and their normal is like they normally have higher blood pressure. And so can you imagine you're walking around, you're doing your regular thing, and then all of a sudden you just drop. And then you just find out that, oh, you have pressure. Oh, you mean me have pressure? I mean, all right. So those are the things we need to look at. It is really crazy and it's scary to know because the blood is just there and you're just moving around and you just don't know when it might happen. So that is why it is best when you can you can check your pressure
on a
to know
periodical.
what is happening.
So, for example, if I have no, I've never had any high blood pressure. It's not in my family. But why do I need to check? Is that even something serious? Can't I just go on like normal? Because my mother doesn't have it, my father doesn't have it, no one that I know of in my family has it. So why should I go about checking when it's not supposed to be? It's not supposed to be an issue for a person like me. What would you
That's a
say?
that's a good question, right? Hypertension is a lifestyle disease, a chronic disease. So, as the name says, lifestyle is how you're living, what you're
Hmm.
eating, how's your environment. And the environment is not just the physical area. For example, where you work, is it stressful? Are you stressed? Are you having headaches? What is happening to you? Are you so busy that you have to be constantly eating the fast food? How is your eating? Are you somebody that loves salt? So
And that's actually a follow-up question that I do have for you. How does what we eat influence this pressure, this high blood pressure thing? Especially for those that may be underweight versus those that are overweight.
So
all
if I
right.
can
So
respond
go ahead,
briefly
Dr.
to
Forgive,
your
and then you can
previous,
chime in,
yeah, let me
Okay.
respond
Nurse Morgan.
briefly to your previous question. It's not only your family, when it runs through your family, that you have high blood pressure.
Hmm.
As she was saying, environment and other things. Individually, our lifestyles are different from maybe our family members. So family is one of the way we get family history. Is
Yes.
one of the ways we know that we are at risk for high blood pressure, but individual lifestyles
Is important.
also also important when it comes to blood pressure.
Okay. All right. Thank you for chiming in, Dr. Forgive. Nurse Morgan?
Okay. So let me break it down as simple as I can. It is sodium.
Yes, salt.
It is it is sodium. Let me use sodium. Sodium is a very important electrolyte in the body for our nervous system to help with a lot of things in our body. It is used because if we don't have enough sodium, we can be lethargic and whatever the case is. But if you know when it comes to what you eat, sodium is a natural preservative. So once you constantly eat that sodium, what will follow? Water is in love with sodium. Like, oh my god, it's like, hey, where you come here, my baby. So it's like it must increase. The blood volume increases and it increases and it increases. So what happens? Because the circulatory system is a big pipe system, is a very nice pipe system that is created by the maker, right?
Yes.
And when you have a confined space, but the volume keeps increasing because what the sodium is in the blood and the body is going to compensate. It's going to increase the water, which is going to increase the blood volume. And that is how you have that high pressure in terms of in the blood.
Okay, which
So
is
we have to be cognizant of how we're eating so that the water, as I say, water loves salt bad.
boy. But I have another question for Dr. Forgive. you had mentioned that, persons can get kidney failure for, that hypertension. Can they get any other damage to any other organ, or kidney failure is the number one and only?
Oh no. So with blood pressure, the blood travels through our body. So all it goes to major organs. Talk about your eyes, blood travel there. Talk about your brain. Um, talked about your vein arteries. So kidney is one of two. It's a major organ. So it's one of the ones that it can damage. But you can also have vision loss. Um, One of the symptoms, late symptoms, will be vision and damage to the retina. It can also cause permanent vision loss, right? And also, we know there is cognitive decline with long term high blood pressure. That means the brain, it has affected the brain and increase the risk. You mentioned a stroke, increase the risk for heart attack too.
All right, so we're
And
going to have to pause one moment. I'm going to allow you to continue on after this break. So remember to answer our feedback question: how do you manage your blood pressure? And we're looking forward to what you have to say. Remember to send your answers via WhatsApp text and WhatsApp voice notes to 876-997-3125. Try to keep those voice notes within 30 seconds. You can also call our studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. Watch us and comment live on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube. And just so you know, the numbers for the FLM head office in Kingston are 876-920-1034 or 876-926-8101. Stick around for more insightful information. See you soon.
The time by Grace Good Move is
5:47 p.m.
hurricane season is here. Is your property underinsured? If your policy hasn't been updated in years, you are at risk. One hurricane and you could be paying millions out of pocket. Don't get caught off guard. Know your property's value. Talk to your insurance provider today. Check it, value it, insure it. Real value, real coverage. A message from the Insurance Association of Jamaica, protecting what matters most.
Make an impact on your career. Earn real money. Get 3 to 4 local and international certification in practical nursing and early childhood education with free CXC or CAPE subjects in 6 to 12 months at Distinction College, located at 26 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 6 Nugent Street, Spanish Town, and Ocho Rios. Earn global certificates in 3 months in geriatric nursing, phlebotomy, childcare. We have the lowest school fees around. Classes begin very soon. Call us 356-4167.
It's more than a race. It's a launch pad. The New Testament Church of God 5K Run Walk to raise funds for 100 scholarships for students from primary to tertiary levels. Step out in faith. Make every stride count. It's the New Testament Church of God 5K Run Walk, Saturday, July 19 at 6:30 a.m. Starting point at the Emancipation Park. Register now at runningeventsjamaica.com. Call 876-967-4903 for more information. As the New Testament Church of God celebrates 100 years in Jamaica.
Welcome back. And we're talking about high blood pressure, silent killer. This is Family Time on Love 101 FM. And I will now hand over back to Dr. Forgive. She was going on and answering our question. You can continue.
yeah, so I was almost done. And it can also cause pain in the leg while walking. Some people may complain that they have pain, but with long-term blood pressure, that is damage to the nerves in your legs. So it can cause a lot of damage to different parts of the body.
Okay, and that was in response to the question where I had asked if kidney disease was the only effect of high blood pressure. and we have to move it on. And I ask you, Nurse Morgan, you know, people would say that your food can cure and your food can kill. Can food really cure hypertension? And I see the persons just going closer to their radios, waiting with bated breath for you to answer. Can food cure hypertension?
You know, I know that I learned that let food be a medicine and medicine be a food. But let's not look at it as a curative thing because, as I would have said earlier, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle thing. So once you understand how the body works and how the foods affect your blood pressure,
Yes.
then it can balance your pressure. That's what I want persons to understand and chime into. As I said, sodium and salt go together because water loves salt. So if it is that, for example, if you said that your family, somebody in your family, like my grandmother, both my grandmothers, um, they have pressure.
Okay.
So I'll be at risk for that genetically, family history and all of that. So I am mindful as to how I eat and
And
the
when you say,
sodium that I consume.
and one moment, I sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. But when you say just the sodium, does that mean how I cook? Are there any things that I buy that I think probably doesn't have a lot of salt and it actually does have a lot of salt?
Yeah, because sodium is flavorless. So it can go in anything, it can go in the sodas because it is acting as a natural preservative. It's a
Soda?
preservative. Yes, sodium can go in the soda, sodium benzoate. So yeah, man, yeah, it not taste salty, but
It's
but it is there. You understand? It is there. It is less in your convenience food, say canned food and all of those things. It is there because everything needs to be preserved, right? It can't just occur naturally. You're gonna have a lot of spoilage, and that's bad for business. If we're gonna talk about business, it will be bad for business, and we don't want that. We don't want to buy things and then it spoil on us instantly. So what the manufacturers do is they use sodium as a preservative to keep the foods going.
anything else? So you said you mentioned soda. What else do I need to know so I can probably stay a little bit farther away from them?
w- Sodium is in everything. So once you talk about convenient food, just look at snacks. I'm not gonna call any
Yeah,
brand names, but
fine.
you look at snacks, your canned items, anything that is not fresh. And
Any
fresh, I mean, your vegetables, when you go Coronation Market, you know, Saturday time or Thursday, for those people who love the Thursday market, and you buy your cabbage, your callaloo, your pak choy, your pumpkin. These are natural, fresh items. And if anybody has any children like I do, that will remind you, like, there's a character in Peppa Pig that they always sing in fruits and vegetables keep us alive. Always remember to eat your five. So it's as simple as that. So
okay,
if we go back to basics with our fruits and vegetables, we will have a less likely a chance of developing hypertension
okay.
if everybody is getting what I'm saying.
Yes, I totally understand. And I will ask Dr. Forgive, how early should we start checking? Because we hear that one, it doesn't have to be hereditary. That so we can't just be walking around and say, I'm fine. It can be in our food and how we eat. It's a lifestyle disease, as Nurse Morgan has said. We know that it's affecting basically everything in our body because it has to do with the blood pressure. But at what point do we say within ourselves, okay, no, I really need to start checking this on a regular basis, or not? Should I just, once it is that I reach the age of consent, I should just start checking throughout my life, or what should it be?
You should start checking today. Uh, no, we you are
Not
more,
today.
yeah, right away. Just start checking right away. So um usually even children when they go to the doctors, they start checking their blood pressure very young.
Whoa.
And as young adults, we can start checking at least by the age of 20 or before, um, and at least once a year, with a yearly annual checkup with a healthcare provider, check our blood pressure annually. And if you can check at home every day, why not? If there is any free blood pressure check checkups in your community, why not? So it doesn't hurt. And blood pressure is one of the things that we can easily check. Anybody can check blood pressure.
Also,
So yes, you can check it at home, and the
does it
doctors
mean that with a blood pressure machine or
Yeah, man, with
yes?
the blood pressure machine, the automatic ones.
Okay. Okay, because I thought you meant like put my hand on the pulse and then count how many times and then because I thought that's what you meant.
no. Yes, so very start checking today very early, if not before, from 20 years, and annually is highly recommended.
Okay, and I have a question. Thank you very much for answering that, Dr. Forgive. And a question to you, Nurse Morgan. Is there a way to remove the sodium from canned items or processed foods? Any at all? Can we remove it? Maybe boil it in some water a little before we actually put it in our food. Maybe not use the water that's in the liquid that's in the can. Just kind of throw that off and maybe rinse off the processed food. Would that help to reduce the sodium in it?
I mean, theoretically, it should. It will be able to help in a sense because my grandmother, and I have to be a realist. You understand? I would want to live in a world that we can avoid this and avoid that, but we have to be practical. And, as much as we want to avoid it, we have to use it wherever. But I always say as less as possible. So, for example, the sardine, you discard the liquid. If it is that you can't do any better, you discard the liquid. And if you can wash it off, you wash it off. My grandmother does that. And she flavor her food with her herbs and her spices. Especially she love garlic, you see. The lady love garlic. So she flavor it, but what she does and what she took away from what I was saying to her is that in everything you do, you have to try and incorporate some type of vegetable to help mitigate because these are high in water and they can help to mitigate and to reduce the blood pressure because it will be excreted out in the urine, especially when you hydrate, hydrate, hydrate with water.
Okay, thank you very
So
much for answering
yeah.
that question. And we're gonna be coming up to a break pretty soon, but this is a question that I want to ask. As Caribbean people, we really like our food and we like when it tastes really good. And you kind of suggested or gave practical advice as to how we can make our food more flavorful, even though we might have to reduce the sodium. What do you say to those who are comfortable with their sodium intake and have decided that, listen, it's not going to get to me? I'm exercising or I'm not eating a lot of processed food. So, I can always put as much salt in the food that I cook at home. What do you say to those persons?
Well, we learned a thing about readiness and also it's a mental thing. I'm gonna say to them, it's a mental thing. So as much as you are exercising and you're avoiding the processed food, you're still adding sodium in the diet via the table salt in the pot. So I find that with patients and with people overall, if they're not ready to make a change, it's difficult. They have to wholeheartedly change the mindset.
Okay.
As much as they try to drag them and tell them and educate them and empower them, they won't budge.
So
They
they
have
have to
to,
make
they
that
they
decision.
have to make
Let's
that decision because it's not easy. It is not going to be easy. Imagine you used to this flavor and will love cook with a flavor on it. Eh? Your nice jerk
God.
chicken, well seasoned bone, huh? And it's hard, and you get a little nice flavor there. Imagine telling somebody, say, oh, you have to take time.
And
Even
I tell you, Nurse Morgan, Nurse Morgan, Nurse Morgan, I'm one of those, but we have to take the break. No, we have to take the break. This is Family Time live on Love 101 FM, YouTube, and FB. It's produced by Family Life Ministries. For our social media interaction, we want you to tell us, how do you manage your blood pressure? Now, you don't have to be hypertensive to answer this question, just in general. How do you manage your blood pressure? Send your answers via WhatsApp text and WhatsApp voice notes to 876-997-3125. Try to keep those voice notes to no longer than 30 seconds, please. And you can also call our studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 8. Watch us and comment live on Love 101 FM, Facebook, and YouTube. We want to hear from you. It's break time, but don't go away. See you soon.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National Security is
a minute past 6 o'clock.
Remix the summer with Digicel. 100 lucky winners win $100,000 each, plus surprises all summer. To enter, buy a SIM, 7-day plan or higher. Switch to Digicel. Be an active postpaid or Digicel Plus customer, or receive US $15 or more from abroad. Gift a friend a plan. They could win $25,000. Remix the summer with Digicel. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promo ends September 15, 2025. Conditions apply. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for more info. Digicel, better connected this summer.
This Emancipation Day, experience a night of powerful praise and purpose. CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica with Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Saj, John Mark Wigan, hosted by IT Ellis and Nadine Blair. Gates open 2 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Tickets at select outlets island-wide or online at spuropen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for updates. CC Winans, More Than This concert with a call. Friday, August 1, Kings House East Lawns.
Welcome back. Now let's go right to Reverend Mike with this week's episode of WTF, Word to Flesh Moments with Reverend Mike.
Jeremiah 30 promises, I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal all thy diseases, saith the Lord. 1.3 billion of us out of 8.2 billion are beset with a disease called high blood pressure. That is frightening data when you consider the fact that high blood pressure is also known as the silent killer. That means the population of heaven or hell could increase drastically anytime should the disease live up to its name. Hebrews 12 says, lay aside every sin which so easily besets us, and let us run with patience the race set before us, looking unto Jesus. As we run the race of life, 1.3 billion of us could end up on the wrong side of eternity if we don't successfully manage our silent killer or manage our besetting sins. Here's advice for both. How to prevent high blood pressure. Get irregular exercise. Limit your intake of salt and alcohol. Eat a diet rich in fruits and vegetables and low in saturated fats. Avoid smoking. Maintain a desirable body weight. To prevent besetting sins, come to know Jesus Christ as Lord. Refuse to be controlled by the besetting sin. Lay aside the sin, the word says. Colossians also tells us, put them away. Anger, wrath, malice, slander, and obscene talk. Be accountable to someone, for Proverbs promises, iron sharpens iron, as one person also sharpens another. God's promise to restore our health doesn't release us from our responsibility to manage our health physically and spiritually. I'm Reverend Mike from Church Tabernacle, and we just had a WTF moment.
You are tuned to Love 101. This is Family Time, brought to you by Family Life Ministries. FLM provides counseling for people with all kinds of challenges from all walks of life. Our show this evening is High Blood Pressure, the Silent Killer, And our special guests are Dr. Forgive, who is an assistant professor in the School of Nursing at the University of North Carolina, and Chevelle Morgan, who is a registered nurse and nutrition practitioner. The encouraging part is that hypertension, it can be controlled and even prevented, but it takes a daily commitment and the right tools to get it done. And I want to say or to ask, how can persons who have been diagnosed with hypertension, how can their family members help them to feel more in tune with them around dinner time? Because sometimes it feels awkward when everybody else is eating maybe jerk chicken, jerk fish, and in front of you is what, vegetables and boiled food. But how can our family make them feel more included in the daily meals and the activities so that they don't feel, distant or alone? And I'll give that question over to Nurse Morgan and then Dr. Forgive.
Okay, so I want everyone to understand that even though you were diagnosed with hypertension, that doesn't mean you cannot enjoy some of the foods that your other family members are eating. It is just that we all have to educate ourselves. So, for example, the jerk chicken, you can still eat the jerk chicken, but it is you who now will have to season it because we don't have a lot of places that will sell the jerk chicken to match what the sodium level would be like for us, right? So you season the chicken to the god. You season it with garlic. You season it with ginger. You season
Time,
it with
Scallion.
cayenne and thyme and pimento. You understand? And you
Right.
eat your jerk chicken. It's just that you're not going to throw in the salt. You're not going to go crazy, right? And the family will now adapt to this. So whatever you are eating, they will eat as well. So you'll feel that support. And in making a lifestyle change and having that support will push and may help to maintain that habitual practice.
Okay.
You understand? So imagine now I'm sitting across my husband and he's eating same thing I'm eating, some baked chicken, rice and peas and some tossed vegetables, and my two children are having the same thing. I'm going to feel supported. I'm going to feel relaxed. I'm not going to feel alienated. I'm going to like, oh, my family got my back. So why not? And we're going to just do this together as a unit and go back to basics and to sit together, because when last people really sit down
Together.
and dine together.
All right. Awesome.
So that is how I would tackle that.
Thank you, Nurse Morgan. Dr. Forgive.
So, as we said at the beginning of the program, there are some for some people, high blood pressure runs through the family. So, if one person is diagnosed, it's an opportunity for the rest of the family to think about it this way. It's possible I'll be the nurse person to be diagnosed. So, um, all the suggestions Nurse Morgan gave, changing the lifestyle, family support is everything. And it's about modification, not changing the whole lifestyle all of a sudden. It may be portion control. Instead of eating five chicken, maybe you may only eat two, and supplement with something else that is uh, without too much sodium.
Yes.
So making the modification slowly and getting the family involved and not changing your whole diet all of a sudden, and it's going to be difficult. So modification slowly, and family support and a family join to do this change, because again, if it's run through the family, somebody may be nursed.
And it would be helpful. So that's a takeaway. You don't have to make a radical change. You can do it in stages. And as we talk about radical changes, what do you say to those persons who feel like they should jump into these diets, these strange diets, the keto diets and all vegetables, or even fasting that some of these persons are engaging in, thinking that it can help to lower their blood pressure, do you suggest that persons involve themselves with that kind of fasting or dieting?
All right, I'll say this. Most of these fat diets, they're not targeting what affects hypertension. They have to go back to the cause root, which is you have excessive sodium, which then causes an increase in the blood pressure. Keto is it is avoiding carbohydrate, which then is starving your body of carbohydrate. Therefore, your body's feeding off itself and then producing ketonic acids, and then you'd probably be simulating that of somebody who's diabetic. We don't want that. What was the next one you said?
They fasting, so they just don't eat food and drink water. I think that's what.
One thing with our bodies don't pay about their food. And if it is that you don't eat and you're starving yourself, the brain is going to be upset. The brain is very selfish now. The brain is going to be like, what you mean you're not going to eat? You know what me I going to do? Me I going to fix your business. Oh, me I going to fix your business. You see, the moment you take up a food, me I going to store it as the highest form of energy because I am in charge and are you in charge, which is fat. And that's why fasting is not necessarily recommended to do that. And in these diets, they're still not targeting lowering the sodium, which is what we want. We always want to lower that sodium. I mean, if you just put on the salt physically, but taking the salt out because salt occurs in food naturally, right? It is there. It is in the potato, the yam. It is there, but it is how we use it. Because when you check up everything that you eat, how much salt are you really consuming?
It adds up. It adds up. For those, and this question is geared towards Dr. Forgive, for those who are in that middle zone, so their pressure is it's trending upward, but it's not to the 120/80 as yet, and they're not on medication. What would you suggest for them to do at this point in time? So they're not hypertensive, but they seem to be getting there.
Yes. So those maybe hypertensive or prehypertension or elevated high blood pressure. It's elevated, but it's not high yet. Elevated pressure. So with those people with lifestyle changes, the progression may reduce progression to high blood pressure. So diet, a lot has been said about diet already, so I will not
Yes.
repeat that. And exercise.
Exercise.
Um, what do you do? What works for you? Uh, is it walking? Is it dancing? That can help with reducing, um, maintaining or reducing the how rapidly the blood pressure increase from pre-hypertensive to um, high blood pressure. So lifestyle changes is the recommendation before you get to medication.
Okay. So if you're not there yet, you are recommended to just start changing the things in your life, reduce the salt intake that you have. You should do exercises as well. And I should ask Nurse Morgan, what is a safe level for sodium? Or is there a safe level? Or it depends on how big you are, how small you are, your family history,
It's a very multifactorial question.
and you
How
only have 30 seconds to answer this question because we're going
Alright,
on.
so let me just keep it 100. Let's just focus on keeping it low. According to the WHO, they said less than 2,300, which is less than a teaspoon. So less
per
than a
per per
teaspoon
per when
for the day,
for the
because,
day.
because it is in everything else. That's the It is in everything already. So if it is in everything already, you don't need to add it. That's basically what I am saying. It is in the food naturally. It's crazy, but you see, the mind change. You have to change the mindset. You have to change it. You have to change it, or else, if you're action, you are exactly proving my point.
We have to go on a break right now, and I have to finish laugh at that response. So we're heading into our final break. This is Family Time live on Love 101 FM, YouTube, and FB. It's produced by Family Life Ministries. For our feedback question, please answer: how do you manage your blood pressure? Send your answers via WhatsApp text and WhatsApp voice notes to 876-997-3125. Try to keep those voice notes to no longer than 30 seconds. And you can also call our studio lines at 876-968-8327 or 8. Watch us and comment live on Love 101 FM, Facebook, and YouTube. We want to hear from you. See you soon.
Remix the summer with Digicel. 100 lucky winners win $100,000 each, plus surprises all summer. Gift a friend a plan. They could win $25,000. The time by Digicel is now 6:16 and a half.
You can see the face, but not the heart. Those who want to do you wrong. So many times.
Bless up. This is Christopher Martin. Human trafficking is a crime. Let's unite to end human trafficking. Be wise, open your eyes, spot them, stop them, and report them.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
No shadow after dark. No shadow after dark.
The world is changing and so should you. Diversify your career and get local and international certification in 2 to 6 months at Distinction College. Start online and face-to-face class in medical assistant, medical lab tech, pediatrics and psychiatric nursing, ECG tech, home attendant, hairdressing, makeup, meal tech, call center, supervisory and events planning management, cashiering, media broadcasting and travel tourism. Register this week and get free subjects and free courses. No subjects required, no age limits. Visit us in Kingston, Spanish Town, Ochoris, and St. Elizabeth. Call us at 876-356-4167.
Welcome back. And the time is now 6:17 p.m. You are tuned to Love 101. This is Family Time, brought to you by Family Life Ministries. FLM provides counseling for people with all kinds of challenges from all walks of life. Remember, you can tune in to the program via the Love 101 Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'd like to take the time to let you know about 3 books that FLM is now offering. The first 2 are titled Answers to Questions Parents Ask and Questions on Love, Sex, and Marriage. You can purchase them from Brian's Bookstore, the Jamaica Baptist Union Bookstore, and the Source of Life Bookstore. The third book is titled Before They Say I Do, the Questionnaire and Manual. This one is specifically for counselors, psychologists, pastors, and marriage officers. All 3 books are available through Family Life Ministries. Our topic today is high blood pressure, the silent killer. Our special guests are Dr. Forgive and Nurse Morgan. Managing hypertension doesn't end at the clinic or at the kitchen. It's also about consistency, support, and community. Now, that very hilarious joke that you gave, Nurse Morgan, I really am hoping that everyone else took it seriously. But I have a question from one of our viewers. It's Sheila Douglas from YouTube. She says, good evening. How does beetroot help with blood pressure?
Beetroot?
Yes.
All right, so let me take it from another. I'm not familiar with beetroot in of itself, but because I don't like it, I don't drink it. But if you like it, that's fine. I would take it from the standpoint of the water that is in there that could help with the excretion of the sodium. via the urine. That's how I would take it in the simplest form. So, likely you make the juice, the beetroot, you blend it up with your water, and you add a little sugar to taste. Once you consume that, you're consuming water, which will be excreted because excessive water will not stay in the body, and the kidney is not going to have that. It's going to excrete out water. And as I say, anywhere you find water, you'll find sodium, and it'll be excreted out that way. If you look at it from that standpoint.
All right, then. Thank you. Thank you very much, Nurse Morgan. And this question is for you, Dr. Forgive. How can churches, health fairs, or local organizations help with early detection and awareness?
That is a good question. Just imagine you go to church and after church you check your blood pressure before you go home.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So that's one of the ways. If the churches have blood pressure cuffs at the premises that they can check every Sunday, why not? And have and they can also educate the congregation about high blood pressure or the diets and as Morgan talked about, if it can be put in flyers and share in the churches, why not? Health fair is also very important. Uh, Send it to the people where the people are. So if the people cannot travel to the hospital, they don't have the time, send it to their community where they are so that they can get checked in their um, environment where they live and work. So that is how we can support not only the education, if you educate and you don't give them the tools, and also sometimes the churches can give uh, the monitors, blood pressure monitors, for free. It's not everybody that can afford to buy the blood pressure monitor at home. So if they give it for free, of course, they will check at home.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Forgive.
Oh,
And
one other thing to add to the beetroot. It is high in nitrates, right? And this is a compound that will help to relax the blood vessels to lower the blood pressure. So I just wanted to add that as well. That's
all right, and thanks, Nurse Morgan. So you hear that? Yes, beetroot is good. It can actually help to relax the veins so that the pressure is not so high. Um, we actually have a voice note from Dorel. You can go ahead.
Evening, I manage my blood pressure by exercising, drinking a lot of water, and taking my meds.
Thank you, Dora. That's a good way. I see Nurse Morgan giving you a big thumbs up. She's like, yeah, you're on the right track. But I should have asked you ladies, how do you manage and monitor your blood pressure? I want to tell you from now, I don't. I don't check it unless I have to go. I'm serious. I don't check it unless I have to go to the doctor. That's the
I do check at home.
okay.
um, I'm supposed to do it every day, but sometimes I forget. But I check at home at least once a week. I do check at home.
All right. That's not so bad. You're taking your own advice. Nurse Morgan.
well, I check twice a week because naturally I have low blood pressure, even
Oh,
though in my family they have high blood pressure. I just check to just make sure I'm good to go. Also, working in the hospitals in the dietary as a nutritional professional, what we do is that we peel our ground foods, our yam, our sweet potato, those things. We'll put it in water to soak, and we will soak it overnight. So I practice that when I'm cooking my ground provisions, and I throw off that water. That water is rich in excess starch, excess electrolytes like sodium. So that's one way I also help. And I use a lot of garlic, which is a natural agent that helps to lower blood pressure. I use a lot of garlic, a lot of ginger, scallion, and thyme. I make my wet rubs, which wet rubs blend up them. We use it a lot. And I don't really have salt in my line of vision because if you have it in a line of vision, it's easier to just grab and add to the pot. So I try to just put it to the back of the cupboard.
I think that's a very interesting suggestion, having the salt out of your line of vision. So when you taste the pot, you're like, it needs something. The first thing that you you kind of go to is the salt. Um, so we understand that yes, it is getting there. But we have it's 6:25. The time has gone so quickly, and I want you both to answer this last question. What is one lasting habit you wish everyone would adopt to help lower their risk of hypertension?
I'll go. One habit is annual checkup. If,
Annual checkup.
even
Annual
if you are
checkup.
busy, find time to see the doctor, healthcare provider at least once a year.
At least once a year. Even if you're really afraid that they might say that you are hypertensive and you don't want to go, you should find the courage at least once a year.
Once a year. Early detection is key.
Yes, yes.
Blood pressure is very manageable. So early detection is key. So once a year, at least once a year, visit your doctor.
Okay. All right. And Nurse Morgan?
I would say we need to go back to basic and use our fresh vegetables and fruits and our fresh meats and poultry. You know, I know it's hard, it's gonna be hard, but better prevent it than to actually try and make a cure per se. So if we can buy a little vegetable we do it, I would do our meal prep. And that is one habit we would want everybody to take away.
So the meal prep, and by meal prep, can you just expand a little bit on meal prep? When you say meal prep, are you talking about writing down what you're going to be cooking or getting the ingredients ready?
It can be you creating your own, getting the ingredients ready. Because one of the challenge why convenience food is so popular is because we're strapped for time. So if you can do little changes, for example, you can pressure our peas in bulk. I do that and portion them out, put them in the freezer. You want to label it, you label it. Um, which I just identify a day. You must can take like find a day and you can do all your meal, your prepping. So that you chop up your chicken, you put it in your bag. And so when you come in, you throw it in the pot and you just cook your food and you're good to go. And then you can then portion it out and have it in the fridge so that in the morning you just grab your lunch to go.
Okay. Noted, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with us. If you have questions of a personal nature or are concerned about a friend or family member, call us. For more information on our services or for our counselors in Kingston and other parts of the island, contact our head office at 876-920-1034 or 876-926-8101 or 876-579-8690 and 876-279-8678. Note that for appointments and information on costs, you must call the offices. Otherwise, to keep up to date with what's happening with FLM and our programs, check us out on our new Facebook page at FLM-Family Life Ministries. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Family Life Ministries-FLMJA, and on Instagram at simply FLMJA. Before we leave you, here is our verse for this evening. John 6, verse 35. Then Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. Join us again next week for another informative program. Thanks again to our special guests, Dr. Forgive and Nurse Morgan. Thanks also to our show producer, Kathy Gale, Derval Graham for piloting us through this hour, Rashid Perry for providing resource and research services, and of course, you. Have a great week. I've been your host, Audra Williams. See you soon. Bye.
You're tuned to Family Radio, broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. We're Love 101 FM, where the time is now 6:30 p.m. It's time